This is how you set up a Kahoot game. You want to go to a website called create.kahoot.it, and that will get you to this page. I have an account already, and if you don't have one, you want to make sure that you actually sign up, which is right there. Since I have an account, I'm logging in. I have a couple of Kahoot games already set up on my Kahoot, but I want to create a new one. So to create a new one, you'll just say, you click on the new K or new Kahoot. And in here, you have a couple of options. You can create a quiz, a discussion, a survey, or the jumble game, which we've learned when we were kids. So for example, there's a quiz that you want to create. You click on that and you type in the title for this particular question, for this quiz. So test quiz. And you need to put a description. If you don't put one, you can't go forward. This is a test quiz. Now you want to make sure that this could be visible to everyone. You will notice the pop-up essentially just said, well, you want to make sure you can put in hashtags if you want to. I'll ignore that for now. When you become much more familiar with this, you can put some hashtags, and if it's a public quiz, it can actually be found. For now, it's only visible to me, but if you are writing this for your students, you want to make sure it's visible for everybody. Language is English, and your audience will be at university level. You can put some credit resources and a video if you want to. The easiest way for the ones who are creating Kahoot for the first time is just to ignore that. And that's just for credit of graphics that you might be using that are either of public domain, but you need to make sure there's attribution for whatever media you're putting in there. Click on OK, and it'll actually say you can put an image here if you want to. I just put maybe later. So now you're ready to actually write a question. So I only have one question here. So where is our school located? You can choose how long it'll take for this question to be available for your audience to respond to. The standard is 20 seconds. Sometimes I would give them 10 seconds if it's a very simple question. So for example, in this case, 10 seconds should be sufficient. You can actually award points as well if you want to, add some graphics or video if you want to. For now, I'm leaving all of that blank. So I would say, for example, Toronto. I could say Marca, Vancouver. Oops, if I can type. Halifax, and New York City. All right. So those are my first my choices, and of course, click the one that is actually the correct answer. Click on next, and if you're done, you can just click on save. So I only have one question. If I'm now ready to, it's now available, so you can preview it if you want to see what it would look like, and it'll show up like this. Because if you're online, you can type in a game pin that will show up. Classic mode is normally the one we use for individuals competing against each other. But if you want to do this as teams, you can do that as a team mode, and then one team gets to use one device. That could be quite difficult because then it's a discussion of the dynamic of that group and who actually gets to press the button. So do it as a classic and then you move forward. Again, this is in preview mode, so I'm actually closing that and actually playing this. If I want to add more questions in the future, all I need to do is edit. I click on play and then I'll say classic. You will notice that it'll now say, you will now see here it says start. So I clicked on the start button. You can hear this music. I'm turning this down a bit just in case you can't hear me. The game pin changes every single time you play it, so you cannot give them the game pin ahead of time, because when you launch it, it'll be a totally different game pin. Make sure that students actually type this number, and when they go on their browser, or if they have an app on their phone, they just type in kahoot.it, and the game pin is available there. And then when they enter, they now are asked to put in a nickname or name, whatever they want. I make people add in whatever creative names they want to put in there. And then I'm in. So right now you're not seeing anything because the facilitator, right here, sorry, will actually see the name right there. If I click on start, and I'll switch very quickly to the screen of the gamer, and it'll say, are you ready? And you'll see here, get ready, and then there's the question. And remember, we gave them 10 seconds to answer. And you'll notice these are only the patterns they will see, because the question they have to see on the screen that you're projecting. So where's our school located? Once they're done, you will notice here it'll highlight the correct answer, and there's nobody who answered correctly here because I didn't choose one, and then it's kind of done. You click on next, and it'll just say, I won, although I didn't do anything because I'm the only one that played. That's kind of how it is. It's simple as that. If you have any questions, make sure that you connect with me. You know where to find me.